Right everyone, today we're going to be talking about how to counter the newly released GL Luke with our Jedi Knight Revan squad when GL Luke is under Bastila lead, which has been named the ultimate timeout team over the past few days. I've seen a few YouTubers make videos showcasing this team, so I decided to dive in and try to figure out a reliable counter that doesn't involve any GLs or Jedi Knight Luke. This counter has worked 100% of the time for me when following the correct tactics. I'd like to say from the start, you have to play it exactly as I have or it won't work. If you mark the wrong character or don't focus everyone down in the right order, it's very likely you'll lose the match. This is probably the toughest of the GL Luke lineups, so be sure to pay attention to the battle tactics that will be shown later in the video. Now the good news is, this is almost the exact same lineup I used to counter GL Rey, so people who've seen my video on that will be happy to hear you can use this team to counter both GL Luke and GL Rey, so it's a really good value team to invest in. While you do need more relics to beat this lineup than GL Rey, it's still a very free to play friendly team, and all of the characters in it are high tier, so without any further delay, let's get started. So starting up as always, we're going to go through the mods and zetas you're going to need for this team to work. Mods are extremely important for this squad and will likely make or break your battles. As mentioned earlier, you'll also need relics on all of the team. You could probably get away with gear 12 on Hermit Yoda, but for everyone else, it's crucial to have a decent amount of relics on them. For zetas, you're going to need all of Jedi Knight Revan's. Gas is basic, which will make his second attack stronger and decrease his cooldowns when an opponent has armor shred, and he's chosen one unique, which will allow him to reduce Luke's max HP by 20% each time he's hit once he has no protection, which will help us massively towards the end of the battle. You will also need Hermit Yoda's strength flows through the Force zeta. While the protection healing is nice on this, it's more important for the foresight it grants to Jedi allies. Rotating between this and Grandmaster Yoda is important to make sure foresight is on your team as much as possible. And finally, you'll need Grandmaster Yoda's battle meditation zeta for the foresight and additional turn meter gain it grants him. As an optional zeta, you could also do Thrawn's ebb and flow for the 50% tenacity while an enemy is fractured, but this probably won't change the course of the battle in any way, but it's still a very niche use for those who are interested. This squad is going to allow us to get around the taunts easily to target down the key threats early on, while also allowing us to disable Jedi Master Luke from the battle after a few turns. Fracture won't go off right away, as it's highly likely Thrawn will get ability blocked and stunned near the start of the battle. The main goal is keeping him alive until these effects expire and making sure he has tenacity up after this to allow him to fracture Jedi Master Luke midway through the battle. As mentioned before, this team is very reliable for me, and hopefully will allow all of you guys without a GL to have a shot at beating one of the best defense lineups currently in the game. So next up we need to talk about mods. First up, we have our team's leader Jedi Knight Revan modded with some of our fastest mods with a total of 330 speed. It's fairly important for him to take the second turn in the battle right after the opposing GL Luke, so you can mark gas and get some strong damage out on him early, while also allowing Yoda to gain turn meter fast so he can grant everyone tenacity up. Keep in mind this won't block Jedi Knight Luke's AoE stun, but it will protect the team from any other debuffs from this point on. Up next is our Grandmaster Yoda, who we have modded with another set of our fastest mods with a total of 323 speed. Now most teams Yoda is modded for offense, but his purpose in this lineup is to steal buffs and grant our team frequent tenacity up. GL Luke can throw out ability block very often, so it's crucial for Yoda to be able to block this as much as possible throughout the battle, as well as granting foresight to our team as often as possible. Next up is our Gas, who is modded with a crit damage and crit chance set with a total of 282 speed. He's going to be our team's damage dealer, so while it's important to keep him fast, make sure he's modded with an offense primary on the cross and a crit damage primary on the triangle. His damage combined with a decent speed is extremely important for this lineup, so be sure to keep that in mind. Up next is our Hermit Yoda, who we have modded with a very average speed set and a tenacity set. The second set isn't important at all, as speed is the only thing he needs. He's modded with a total of 268 speed, which isn't amazing, but it's enough to get the job done. Be sure to go higher if you can though, as the faster he is, the more healing, foresight and master's training he's going to grant to your team. And finally we have our Thrawn, who we have modded purely for speed with a total of 310 speed. This team overall, bar gas, is literally just speed. Very little else matters and it's really important in getting it to work. For Thrawn, you want him fast so he can apply fracture to their GL Luke, but no matter what you do, GL Luke will ability block him and Jedi Knight Luke will stun him. It's after this where the speed will come into play, in making sure you can get the fracture landed as quickly as possible after this. It's also important to make sure he has protection primaries on his circle, cross and triangle to make sure that he survives long enough to get the battle under control. So with that all out of the way, we're going to get started on the actual battle. On this first battle, my Jedi Knight Revan is only gear 12. I decided to upgrade him shortly after due to how close he came to dying during this battle. So as you can see, due to Jedi Knight Revan not being gear 13, my Yoda took first turn in this battle and gave our team foresight and tenacity up. Note that you'll never outspeed their GL Luke, but as I mentioned, it's crucial your Jedi Knight Revan goes before the rest of the opposing team. Once he gets a turn, be sure to mark gas and focus him down as quickly as possible. Now eventually when Jedi Knight Luke takes his turn, he will stun your entire team. It's important to make sure you don't use Jedi Knight Revan's AoE until this point, so that that you can cleanse all the Jedi on your team to hopefully prevent some of them from missing a turn. Keep in mind that Jedi Knight Luke's stun cannot be resisted, so even Tenacity Up won't prevent this from landing, unfortunately. Jedi Knight Revan, however, is immune to stun, so if the timing is right, he can cleanse your team. In this battle, however, he didn't have much turn meter. It doesn't always work, but it's nice to have regardless. Keep focusing down gas and spreading Tenacity Up and Foresight from your Yodas when needed. It's extremely important during the first part of the fight to reduce as much damage to your team as possible. Once gas is down, your chances of losing decrease significantly. I did make a mistake here in spreading buffs while my Yoda had buff immunity. I was focused so much on the battle I didn't even notice. While the buffs he had spread, Tenacity Up and Foresight were not generated for this reason. So at this point, unfortunately Mark fell off gas, but it was finally time for our Thrawn to fracture GL Luke, so we'll be free to focus down whoever we need to. Once fracturing GL Luke, be sure to go back to focusing down gas with everything you have. Once gas is finally dead, be sure to take out Wat Tambor next, which should not be too difficult even when he has relics. A hit or two from gas at this point should do the job nicely. After this is done, you're next going to need to focus down Jedi Knight Luke, who is the next biggest threat in the team. I honestly find him more of an annoyance slow than anything else. I actually originally tried going for him first when I was first testing this team, but it didn't work out well as gas is just too powerful to be kept around for longer than he has to be. Another important thing to keep in mind is, specifically when dealing with Jedi Knight Luke, is to watch out for when he has battle meditation. For instance, if it's Yoda's turn, don't hit Jedi Knight Luke at all if you're low on health, as his counter will remove his buffs and could easily take him out, which happened to me a few times while testing. Hit GL Luke, who should still be fractured if Luke has battle meditation when it's Yoda's turn, or anyone else who is squishy or low on health. So once Jedi Knight Luke is finally dead, it's pretty much a one battle at this point. Quickly take out Bastila and then focus on grinding down GL Luke's health. The last part can take a little while, but Gas will power through his strong defensive stats fairly easily. He will also be fractured for most of the time, so it will help limit him healing protection from the Wat Tambor tank tech. And that's pretty much everything for this battle. We're now going to take a look at a couple of other battles and see the improvement that Gear 13 Jedi Knight Revan provides to the team, and to show that the team can pull off very consistent wins. So in this next battle, as mentioned, our Jedi Knight Revan is now Gear 13, and he rightfully took his turn right after GL Luke. I was still experimenting at this point with Master's Training. I gave it to Thrawn, hoping the cleanse would allow me to get Fracture off before Jedi Knight Luke could stun the team, but unfortunately he was too fast. The turn meter gain from Bastila lead makes it extremely hard for a non-Jedi to keep up, so in the future I won't waste Master's Training for a cleanse. I also forgot to mention that Wat will always give the tank tech to GL Luke as the battle starts. This isn't something that is affected by RNG, so always be prepared to have to deal with the permanent taunt until you can finally fracture GL Luke. I did actually try going for Wat first when originally trying out this team, but for the same reason as when I tried marking Jedi Knight Luke first, gas was just too much of a problem. It's actually better to have the techs floating around for a little than to leave gas up for a longer time. It's also important to keep in mind that throughout the battle it's important to alternate strategic advantage between gas and Yoda for the most benefit. There is rarely a reason to use it on anyone else, as these two are by far your biggest damage dealers. I did also notice a massive difference in having Jedi Knight Revan Relic 2 as opposed to Gear 12. I felt a lot less at risk of losing Jedi Knight Revan throughout the battle, which was a consistent worry when he was only Gear 12. I was still learning how to run the team, but was further into perfecting my tactic at this point, which may have also been a factor in this. So as usual, the last part of the fight is just slowly clean off GL Luke. The interaction with the Bastila lead and Wat Tambor's tank tech is very interesting. If Luke has bonus protection already, the tank tech will generate additional bonus protection instead of regular protection, which is part of the reason why this team is so annoying, as the Bastila lead grants massive amounts of tenacity and extra damage to all Jedi when they have bonus protection. Luckily though, between Fracture reducing the amount of turns GL Luke can take at the end, and the massive damage from gas, we're able to get through this easily and win the battle. So we're moving on to the final battle now. As usual, mark gas right away and work on taking him out, then wait for Thrawn to fracture GL Luke, then take out Wat, followed by Jedi Knight Luke, then Bastila, and finally GL Luke. Other key points, as we have discussed, are to alternate Foresight from your Yodas, and to save Jedi Knight Revan's cleanse for right after Jedi Knight Luke has stunned your team, so he can cleanse some of them. Remember to watch out for battle meditation and try to avoid hitting a hard hitter who has it when it's the turn of an ally with low health, as it's highly likely they will counterattack and kill you off. You do have Saviour to give one of your Jedi allies an extra life, but I found once taking Jedi Knight Revan to Gear 13, you won't even use this if you don't make any mistakes. Be sure to follow all of these rules, as when I tried changing things around, it caused the battle to either time out or for us to lose. The one thing I forgot to discuss was the order you should place Master's Training. The first should go to Gas, followed by Grandmaster Yoda, then Jedi Knight Revan, and finally Thrawn. I was torn between Gas and Yoda, but I feel the damage boost to Gas is just too important to have early on, and found the battle progression a lot smoother with him hitting as hard as possible early on. And that's all for today everyone. I'm going to quickly show a slideshow of my opponent's mods now. This is the only team currently in my shard, so I didn't get a chance to experiment against top modded teams. The good news is though, as long as Jedi Knight Revan goes right after their GL Luke, stronger modded teams should not be an issue. Also keep in mind that this GL Luke did not have his ultimate ability, so I'm unsure if this team will work once he does. There's a good chance it will still work though, but we'll have to wait and see. Please be sure to let me know if there's any other compositions of GL Luke you want me to cover. It seems like there's a lot of viable teams that include him, but so far the Bast lead with Watt does seem to be the strongest, but only time will tell for sure. Hopefully this video will help everyone who may be struggling against beating this team, especially people who don't own a GL yet. As always everyone, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.